Welcome to an episode. I don't know what episode this is. It's in the teens, in the high teens probably.
You can just say welcome to This Is Reviewable.
Welcome to a high teen episode of This Is Reviewable.
With?
I'm your host, Brayden, and Mike is also here. And, did you ever see the Powerpuff Girls movie?
Me?
Yeah.
Or are you asking our audience?
Micah, the audience can't respond. Yes, I'm asking you.
I don't think I have.
Okay, because he's naming all the Powerpuff Girls, and he's like, "Oh, you're really smart, and so I'll name you Blossom." I can't remember exactly. He has a reason for why he named her Blossom, and he's like, "Aren't you all cute and bubbly? I'll call you Bubbles." So Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, because it also begins with a B. Anyway.
What did we watch this week?
La Chimera.
Spell that out.
Law.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chimera. Chimera.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's an Italian movie. A movie in Italian. With a little bit of English, but very little.
Yeah.
It's like 90+% in Italian.
Yeah. Maybe 2% in English.
Yeah, I'd say 3.
Can we compromise and say 1?
Yeah, I'd say 4%. So it's 4% English. And Mike is going to tell us what it's about.
What?
Yeah. What's it about?
It's basically about this guy. Does he have a name? What's his name?
His name's Arthur.
Oh. Arthur.
Yeah. And he's English.
He's English, and he just got out of jail, and his old friend, he doesn't want to hang out with his old friends, but they basically convince him to hang out, and they're grave robbers.
Yeah.
Of ancient graves.
Yeah, Etruscan.
Yeah, so they steal relics out of caves and stuff, and then they sell them on the black market to this veterinarian's office.
Yeah, it's like a fence.
Yeah.
For these ancient artifacts, and that's that's what he does. But what is this movie really about? I don't really know. It seems
like it's a little bit straightforward when we watched it, and then Brayden looked it up afterwards. We didn't get the meaning at all, apparently.
Yeah. So this guy, Arthur, he's like the most important part of this gang because he's got this
special gift.
Yeah, he's able to sort of sense where these tombs are.
Yeah, these tombs are.
And I guess, I don't remember if they said this or not, but...
Wait, imagine him walking around.
With a divining rod. What, is it a dowsing rod?
Divining... Like that thing in Coraline.
It's like that
she gets poison oak on her hands from.
Yeah, little wishbone thing.
Yeah. And he walks around trying to have it point him in the right direction.
But he's always able to find cool, tombs.
Cool shit.
To rob. Yeah. But, when we read the official synopsis, or not the synopsis, but, what's that called? It's like a little
overview?
Teaser. Overview. It just tells you what it's about before you watch it without really spoiling anything. And it said that he's searching for the mythical door to the underworld, which we didn't get at all.
At all.
Watching that movie. And, maybe we missed it. Maybe it's in one of those songs that they sing. I wasn't
really paying attention during the songs.
Yeah, I bet it's in there. Anyway, I guess because he loved this woman called Benjamina, and she died, and she's gone.
Before the movie even started.
And throughout the movie, he keeps seeing, visions of her, or, has dreams where she's in it. And I guess throughout this movie, he's searching for a way to reunite with her, I guess.
Apparently.
But we didn't really get that from the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
It's not bad. It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
Especially knowing that we missed such a large part of the meaning of this movie.
Right.
It kind of made me like it a little bit less. Just because I felt like an idiot. I didn't feel like an idiot.
Nice.
Thanks.
It's set in the 80s also, apparently.
Oh.
That's the time period.
Okay.
Um,
Something that's crazy in this, so Arthur is still friends with Benjamina's mom,
yeah.
grandma,
Yeah.
and he goes over to her house, and apparently the mom is a singing teacher.
Yeah, I guess.
And so she has this woman living at her house who she's like teaching lessons to, but she's basically just like a servant.
Yeah.
Like a slave. She's not, I think she's maybe even paying to be there. I don't know.
Yeah.
And this woman, this student, is living in this woman's house, and she has 2 kids that this mom doesn't know about, and she's hiding them in this house, and they don't know for months.
Yeah.
That was so wild to me.
And, well, this lady is an important side character, also.
Yeah.
Her name is Italia.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it's, like, kind of weird, because it seems like... Are we spoiling this?
By what?
I don't know, giving away plot points.
I don't think anyone's gonna watch this.
Um,
If you think you're gonna watch this...
It's worth... If you don't mind foreign films, actually, I should say, and you don't mind a little nuance and a little bit of, mysticism, then you should probably watch this. It's pretty clean. Like, they say the F word in Italian.
But they don't translate it, usually.
Yeah, so, like, it's really...
So unless you know
Yeah.
what the F word is in Italian, I don't know.
Yeah. So totally clean, basically. So you should watch this. But anyway, we're going to talk about plot points. I don't know if we're going to spoil let's not spoil the ending, actually.
That's fine.
But, I lost my train of thought a little bit. Right.
This woman living in that house?
Yeah, her name is Italia. And it seems like, her and Arthur are gonna, be together at some point. It seems like he's maybe getting over losing Benjamina and maybe...
And it's a little bit unclear if they got together.
Right, yeah, that too. But Arthur just seems like he's not really sure of what he wants, and that's my major gripe with the movie, is I don't really like Arthur that much.
No.
I think he's really kind of boring.
He's very flat.
Yeah.
He has no substance to him, because they rob these tombs, but then randomly sometimes, as his friends are taking these artifacts out of the tomb, he'll get upset at them.
Yeah.
He's the one that led them there. He was a willing participant in this thing.
He knows what they're gonna do.
He knows what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I don't really like the main character. I think and also, I don't think the actor portraying him does that great of a job. I think he's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just very flat.
Yeah.
I don't know how else
not very
to
interesting. And which is kind of a big problem, because his whole, like, journey is the substance of the movie, and you follow him, and it's all about him, and he's just not compelling. But that being said, I do like all the side characters.
Yeah.
All of his grave robbing friends are full of personality, and they're interesting, and the grandma is fun, and Italia is good, and
Even her kid does a better job than Arthur.
yeah. Anyway.
That was something that I thought was cool, because when Arthur comes back from jail and he goes and visits the grandma, Arthur and Italia and the grandma go on this walk to this abandoned train station, because Benjamina traveled a lot, and so the grandma doesn't know, or doesn't remember, it's unclear, that Benjamina is passed away.
Yeah.
And so they go to this train station, and it's obviously abandoned.
Yeah.
It's very obvious. And she's like, Benjamina's gonna come back here. She's gonna come back one day. And Natalia's like, who owns this? The grandma's like, nobody does. She's like, nobody. We all do. Nobody does.
Everyone does.
And then later on in the movie, when Natalia gets kicked out, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
When Natalia gets kicked out of the house, she moves into the abandoned train station with It's basically like just like all these women that have nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
With their kids, and it looks kind of like a fun time.
Yeah.
You know, they're all struggling, but they're all trying to do it together.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny that they moved into the train station.
Yeah. And then there were like little parts of this movie that were interesting too. Like it seems like Arthur is able to, like the line between the living world and the underworld for him is like blurring, and he's able to see people that maybe aren't there anymore. And they're asking him for all these things that they were buried with, that his group took. They're like, did you see this little bell? I had this little bell. It was really nice.
It was bronze. It made a little sound like ting ting ting.
And like these are things that you see throughout the movie that were taken from tombs. So I guess that's why he starts to, you know, freak out at the end of the movie when they find the statue, because he's had
these moments that they show us happen after that.
They happen after?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know then. Arthur's just, it's hard to understand what he wants and even just who he is.
Yeah.
But I did kind of like the ending. I thought that was kind of a cool ending that we won't spoil.
I will say, the ending was cool because they set it up throughout the movie, and you didn't know that that's what was happening. Just because he has these flashbacks with this red string.
Yeah.
Should I not even say that? He just has these flashbacks that you don't really know why they're important.
Until they are.
And they set the ending up really well.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it'll be better if I rewatch it at some point. But anyways, let's rate it and move on.
You go first.
I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. Campanelli out of 10.
What's that?
It's a bell.
Oh. I'm also gonna give this a 7. A 7 yeeted into the sea.
Nice. Okay. Moving on to separate stuff. We've got quite a bit of separate stuff to do. I'll start with my video game, if you don't mind.
Fine.
Oh, so you mind?
Fine, go ahead.
You just didn't say anything about it before. I wish I would have known that you felt this way.
Would you have even cared?
Well,
No.
it's better to know. Anyway, I played a video game, and it's called Call of Juarez Gunslinger. And it's a Call of Duty clone, but it's Western. So it's like a Western Call of Duty clone. And I played it on the Switch. It's available for pretty much everything.
I thought you played it on your PC.
No. Switch.
But you were downloading it on the PC?
That was a different game.
Mm.
It's pretty good. It's pretty fun. It's like, it's what you would expect from a Call of Duty clone. Like, it's not changing the way that first-person shooters are played at all. You're just doing it in a Western setting with, and there's some cool like little bullet time. If you've played Red Dead Redemption, it sort of works like the Deadeye mechanic in Red Dead Redemption, where you can slow down time and like aim and shoot a bunch of people really quickly before they can shoot you.
Oh, so that's cool.
It's got like a cool little mechanic like that. You've got a couple of different Western weapons that you can use. You got like a long rifle and some pistols, and I liked the shotguns. Those were really fun. It was really, actually, you know what was my favorite part of this game?
Please tell me.
Was when Micah was sitting next to me, and I started talking in like a Western accent. And do you not remember this? And I'd be like, my name is Ball Shooting Johnson. And
I do remember.
I go around and I shoot everybody in the balls. And I would like...
Right in the ball sack.
Yeah. And like that was my goal for that entire time that Micah was sitting next to me. It was just to hit everybody in the balls.
I know. So then I look up and he's in slow motion. It has a target right on this guy's crotch, and Brayden is just talking about, you were so dumb.
So that's really fun. And it's very arcadey. I'll put some footage in this review so you can kind of see what it looks
on
like.
YouTube.
It's very arcadey. It's bloody, but like in an arcadey stylized way. And they also do really cool little like comic book style introductions to the characters, and the whole thing is told by, like, the story is told by a bounty hunter who's in a saloon, and he's telling his, experiences hunting down all these people, and the whole time everybody's like questioning him, like, you took down an entire army all by yourself, and you were riding with Jesse James, but wait, wasn't Jesse James in this location at this time? And they're like questioning his story the whole time. So it's pretty fun. It's like told with some flair and some style, so I enjoyed it. But again, gameplay wise, it's not anything too special. It's just like a fun little shooter. Oh, the dueling, I hated at the beginning, because you get into these duels where you have to like draw, and there's like, you have to make your hand hover right over your pistol at the same time as you're moving this like little crosshair onto the person that you're trying to shoot. So you have to manage both of those things at the same time and get your accuracy and your draw speed as fast as possible. Otherwise you'll lose. And it was really frustrating at the beginning because I didn't understand how to do it. But if you pick this game up, just remember, you want your hand to hover right above your pistol, and then your draw speed will go up. That's a little tip. Anyways, I'll rate it now. It was fun. I liked it. Fun time. I'll probably play it again someday. I'll give it a clean little 7.5. I'll shoot you in the balls out of 10. Shoot you in the balls.
1 minute, Ned.
Nice. I also played a video game this week. It's called Turnip Boy
Commits
Tax Evasion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically Turnip Boy.
He's a vegetable.
Yeah, he's
literal
a
turnip.
He is getting in trouble by Mayor Onion for
not paying taxes.
Not paying his taxes, and apparently he owes over $140,000 in taxes
in 1 year.
In 1 year
for his greenhouse.
And so the mayor sends him out on these missions to get stuff to help pay off his taxes.
Yeah.
This game is really short. I think it's like 5 hours or something like that. It's 8-bit style, right?
Yeah. Top down as well.
Yeah. It's fun. I will say it's a little bit frustrating because you can only, like, you have, like, you're moving around, and then you have a slight dash. They call it a trip.
Mm-hmm.
And then your weapon button, you have to switch it out with all the other items. Like, it's just the Y button on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have utilized the X button also, so you didn't have to keep switching it. Because sometimes you need your watering can, and sometimes you need your sword, and sometimes you need both in the same fight or in the same room. It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
The ending was pretty funny.
The whole game is funny.
The whole game is funny, because every time someone gives Turnip Boy a piece of paper,
he just rips it up.
Even a book. He ripped a book in half.
That's your only option.
Yeah.
Like, you pick it up and you can read it, and then it says rip up.
You don't have an option to, like, cancel or, like, put it, you have to rip it up.
Yeah. So he rips up his tax documents as well.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
And there's one point where you go into this house, and apparently, like, humans used to live there or something, and he finds this letter from the President of the United States saying that this human is going to be drafted for 30 years and has 5 days to report for duty. What?
And then he rips it up.
Yeah, then he just rips it up. It's a fun, easy game. It's really not hard. And the post game is pretty fun also. I think that's it, right?
Okay.
So I think I'm going to rate this an 8. Secret tunnel through the mountain.
Out of 10?
Yeah, out of 10.
Okay. Alright, so I finished Invincible Season 2.
Yay!
I waited until all the episodes came out because, as anyone who listened to my Invincible Season 2 Part 1 review knows, I don't like that they split it into a Part 1 and a Part 2. just makes everything more complicated. And I'm not a huge fan of weekly releases of episodes. I'd rather just be able to watch it when I want to watch it.
A freaking Gen Z point of view.
Whatever. They got us used to that, and now they're taking it away from us, so now I'm having withdrawals.
Well, you know why they do that?
To keep interest up?
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
So you can talk about it at the water cooler.
Yeah, but...
At work.
Okay, I was pretty harsh on Invincible Season 2. Part 1. I think I gave it like a 6.5 initially, and then I realized I hadn't watched the last episode 4 of Part 1, and then it went up to like a 7.5 because the last episode was really good. But I stand by it because I don't think everyone was going absolutely crazy for the first part of Season 2, and I thought it was not that compelling. Like, I didn't really care about a lot of the storylines that were happening. But I will say that this second part was a lot better. I liked it much more.
Why?
Maybe it's because I finally understood the stakes of the season. I don't know. I don't know what it... Maybe I'm getting used to watching it again, and I needed 4 episodes to get used to watching this cartoon that kind of takes itself seriously but doesn't take itself seriously at the same time. And then by the time Season 2, Part 2 was out, I was ready to enjoy it again. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what I liked so much more about this season. Because what I didn't like about last season was they spent so much time focusing on Mark's friends and...
The girlfriend, right?
And the girlfriend and the other superheroes, and that doesn't really change in Part 2. They're still following a bunch of different storylines, but I don't know, I found it all a little bit more interesting in the second part.
All of the characters?
Yeah. They really did a freaking 180 with his girlfriend from Season 1.
Well, didn't you say that she has like a hero complex or whatever?
No, she's like...
A humanitarian complex?
Yeah, she's like, she's a perfect character that we're supposed to love no matter what. But she figures out that Mark is invincible, the superhero, and she's still mad at him for not spending time with her at the end of Season 1, which is the dumbest freaking thing. But like she completely flips in the second season, which I really doubt that that's how they wrote her. I bet it's because everybody was complaining about her that they decided to change her character.
In Part 2?
Yeah, in Part 2 so drastically, but she's a lot more tolerable, so...
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Omni-Man isn't really that much in Part 2, which...
That's J.K. Simmons?
Yeah. Which was sad for me. Oh, I did like the some of the moral dilemmas that Mark encounters. Thought those were interesting. Yeah, I mean, this is a fun show. It's good. It's fun to watch. It's really violent.
Which is fun.
Yeah, I guess that's also like a parent guide thing as well. It's really violent, so watch out. But don't let your kids watch it, for sure. But it's fun. I definitely don't think it's like a masterpiece like some people seem to think it is out there on the internet, but I think it's good.
Are they going to keep the show going?
Yeah.
Are they going to do all the books?
Probably, yeah.
Those books are beefy.
Yeah. It's, yeah. Oh, there's this one episode that I really thought was kind of fun, where Mark goes to a Comic-Con thing and he's talking to his favorite comic artist, and he's asking the comic artist how they do like an animated superhero TV show in this animated superhero TV show, and then the comic artist is like, oh, it takes so much work, but there's like tons of little secrets that we use to cut corners and save time on animating. And he's like, really? Like what? Like, for example, sometimes do you ever notice how like it'll cut to just the character's eyes and not hover over their mouth? so as they're talking, they don't have to animate their mouth, and it like zooms into Mark's eyes. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that." And he's like, "Yeah," and sometimes it'll even like cut to behind the character that's talking, so you just see their back, but that way you don't have to animate any of your face, and it like zooms out to like to the back.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, and they have this conversation for like a minute.
That's hilarious.
All these little corners that they cut, so it's like a sly little wink at the audience. I like it. It's good stuff. Yeah, I'll rate it now. I'll rate it good. I'll rate it true. I'm gonna give part 2. Should I just rate all of season 2? Okay. So now with the information that I have of the entirety of the season, I think I'll give season 2 an 8. 8 Marky Marks out of 10.
Mark Wahlberg is in this?
No. But the main character's name is Mark. So, I don't think it's as good as Castlevania. There, I said it. I just think, animated shows like this are fun for me, but they're almost never my favorite shows. But Castlevania to me just has way more style and just the setting and the whole vibe of everything. I like more. But I still think this is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I watched a movie.
Did you?
Yeah. I watched The Boys in the Boat. The Boys in the Boat,
Mm-hmm.
which technically we've already talked about on this podcast.
Well, our friends did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, both of the things, I read a book and I watched a movie. Both of them were talked about in the New Year's episode that we released at the beginning of this year. So The Boys in the Boat was the movie that I watched. It's really good. It's based on a book and real life. It's just about these boys that go to university in Seattle, and they're on the rowing team, and then they qualify for the Olympics. And this is set right before World War II. So I think the Great Depression was going on right then, right?
Right before World War II?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. I would recommend the book and the movie. It's just a really good story of struggling, just young men struggling and how they all handle these things and all of that. So I'm going to rate that a 9. Wait, what was our fight song? Our family fight song?
Go West!
Yeah. A 9, shout out your girl on the radio. Out of 10. And then the book that I read is The Silent Patient, which was also talked about earlier this year. And that is a soft thriller-ish. It's not really scary. There is a twist at the end that I didn't really see coming. I was trying to figure out how this was going to end the whole time. I enjoy figuring it out early so that I can see, know what's coming, what's coming up. But I didn't see the twist coming. So it's basically about this artist who is convicted of killing her husband, but she stops talking. She never talks after. From the moment that the cops show up and see that her husband is dead, she never talks. And so she's put in the psych ward, and this guy comes and works at the psych ward because he wants to work with her. He's kind of messed up and all that, but it was good. I think I would rate it a 7 twisty twists out of 10.
You're talking about the cinnamon twists from Taco Bell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you have anything else?
Well, since this episode is not that long, because we kind of blew through the Chimera.
Yeah.
Oh, also, one little fun fact that I wanted to point out about that movie. We're trying to figure out what the title meant for a long time, because,
every time we looked it up, it just said, The Chimera.
Yeah, the freaking monster, the Greek monster that... Does it breathe fire? I feel like it does.
Yeah.
Chimera, I guess you would say in English.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's probably not that because
Doesn't make They've
it
made
doesn't make sense.
references to stuff like that. Yeah.
Apparently, the Chimera in Italian is the same as like a pie in the sky in English.
A pie.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, a pie.
A pie.
Yeah, the pie in the sky.
The sun.
No, so it's like the pie in the sky means some reward or some thing that you're always chasing that you never get.
Huh.
So that's what a chimera is in Italian.
Ah.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
Interesting.
If you think about it, because now looking back, like he's trying to get back to Beniamina the whole time. So I think she's the chimera in that case. Anyway, that was a fun little fact. Forgot to mention that in the section where we actually talked about the movie. But that's just a long way of saying we didn't spend that much time talking about the Chimera, so I might as well talk about this other show I've been watching. What do you think?
What show?
Mr. Inbetween.
Oh, yeah.
So
you said you haven't finished the first season, I thought.
I have.
Oh.
So I'm on the second season now.
Oh.
Freaking FX has some bangers.
What else have they made?
Justified, Shogun,
Did they do The Bear?
The Bear, and now Mr. Nobody. And I feel like...
Mr. Inbetween.
Oh, so yeah, Mr. Inbetween. And I feel like I'm missing other ones. But, like, yeah, FX does really good shows. Anyway, this is a Australian show. And apparently what happened was they released this video back, I don't remember when, but it was like the life of a hitman in Australia, and it just sort of went through his like day-to-day life, like what it would be like for him. And he's got a daughter, and you know, obviously he does his work, but he has a life outside of that, and what does that look like? And Nash, I think it was Nash Edgerton, Joel Edgerton's brother, who you guys may know from The Killer. Do you think I'm ever confusing people? They're like, wait, was Joel Edgerton in The Killer?
I don't know who that is.
He wasn't in The Killer. He's the brother from Warrior.
Oh, Brendan.
Yeah, the one who wants to save...
He was also in The Boys in the Boat.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was the coach.
Fun fact about him, he's Australian.
Yeah, which you can't tell.
Yeah.
His American accent is so good.
Yeah, it's flawless. But his brother, Nash, saw the video that they released of this hitman living his everyday life, and he loved it so much that they got this show greenlit. And
so it's kind of like the way that Ted Lasso happened. They released like a video, and people liked it.
A little different, because this was way more indie than Ted Lasso.
But it's the same concept of making a YouTube video and then making a TV show off of it.
Yeah, I guess so. Except like Ted Lasso's always been mainstream. So I'm saying like it's surprising that this got made, because it was so indie and so low budget. But this is basically the fleshed out version of that premise. And the hitman, his name is Ray Shoesmith. And it's really good. You might hear this premise and think, oh, it's just like Barry. It's very different than Barry. Barry is more of like this... How do I describe it? Barry doesn't want to be a hitman, but he believes that he's a better person than he actually is, and that he can just decide to not be a hitman and there won't be any consequences, and he can live a normal life after having done terrible things. And there's a lot of like absurdism in Barry that is not in Mr. Inbetween. Mr. Inbetween feels way more grounded than Barry does. It's a comedy. It's like a drama comedy, like Barry, but in a different way. Just in like kind of a dry British humor.
Well, and he has no qualms with what he does, it seems like.
But he also has a code, though. Like it's very clear that he has values. So he doesn't hurt people or mess with people or get aggressive with people if they aren't aggressive with him first. He doesn't he's a big fan of treating people with respect, basically, until they don't respect you, and then you need to react. Otherwise they'll walk all over you. And he's like a very kind of a charming character in a weird way. It's hard to describe. Like Barry, you want to like Barry until some things happen in that series and you're like, okay, this guy, he's just kind of evil. Mm-hmm. So far, at least in Mr. Inbetween, Ray gets to pick and choose the jobs he takes. So he picks jobs of people that are like involved in crime. So he's not like killing totally innocent people. And he doesn't ever lose control of himself. He's always living by his code. And it's funny. It's like very fun.
There's this episode that I kind of was watching when Braden was watching it, and he basically gets into this pickle, and these guys throw him into the trunk of the car.
Yeah.
And while he's in the trunk of the car, they both leave the car, and the car gets stolen. And these thieves take it to some garage to have it be cut up, chop shop.
Yeah.
And the guy that works at the garage, opens the trunk or hears someone in there. And so he drives the car out into the woods and leaves it there. Ray escapes and then drives the car back.
Yeah.
And then gets caught again by the original people.
Yeah.
What?
It's pretty great. Because he's, talking with the guy that captured him the first time, and they're, making a deal, and he's like, if we drive out to my house in the Blue Mountains, then I can get out a safe, and there's $128,000 in there, and you guys can split it, and just let me go. And then the guy the guy that kidnaps Ray decides to take him up on the offer, and they go and get the safe. And then the second time they capture him, when he finally gets back into his car.
Well, the guy who captured him is like, dude, what the heck happened to you? And he's like,
you wouldn't believe me if I told you. And he's like, try me. He's like, okay, I got stolen. You're right, I don't believe you. Told you wouldn't believe me. He's like, so you're not going to let me go? No, I'm not going to let you go, Ray. Are you kidding me? It's so funny.
Yeah, and it's funny because Ray shows back up at the chop shop, and the car thieves had no idea who was in there. I had no idea the whole time. They basically leave the car, drop the car off and leave, and then the garage worker, what do you call him?
Owner.
Mechanic.
Yeah.
Finds us, and so Ray shows back up, and all three of them are there.
And they're trying to open his safe.
And he's standing there, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And the car thieves are like, "Who are you?" And the mechanic is like, "So you got out of the car, did you?"
Yeah, it's just really that.
It's absurd.
It is, but not in the same way that Barry is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It's great.
Parrot's good.
Lots of language. Australians use the F word a lot and the C word a decent amount. So
there's violence.
There is violence. It's not horrible.
But there is.
There is that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
What part? What part are you thinking about? Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too.
It might be too much.
But it's so funny though.
I guess, but don't be too graphic.
Okay, so basically, Ray's got this friend that's always asking him for a favor, and then his brother-in-law is trying to rob him. And he texts Ray as he's being robbed, and Ray shows up at the house, and then there's a scuffle, and the brother-in-law gets shot in the head. And
Was it the head?
Yeah.
Oh.
And they're trying to get his body out of the garage, but then the friend's wife comes home.
So that's
her brother. It's her brother. And they're panicking because they don't know what to do. And then they decide they need to chop him up because he's too heavy. So they need to chop him up and take him to get him into the trunk.
To go and dispose of him.
And then so Ray has
this huge meat cleaver, and he's down in the basement.
And then he like swings it and he hits the guy in the arm, and the guy's not dead, and he wakes up. And his arm doesn't get cut off, by the way. It just makes a big deep gash that you don't really see, and he's covering it. And he's like, ah! And then he runs upstairs, and his sister's up there, and he's like, they just tried to kill me. And he's like, you just tried to rob me and kill me. And they're just like, Ray's just in the background laughing, and he's like,
I'm going home.
I guess he was dead. Bullet must have ricocheted off his skull.
Alive.
Yeah. I guess he wasn't dead.
Well, it was so dumb because when the brother-in-law was trying to rob the friend,
Mm-hmm.
he shows up, and then finally the safe is opened or something, and do you have a bag? Dude, you didn't bring a bag to a robbery. You're supposed to bring your own bag. There's grocery bags upstairs. No, I'm not going to walk out with a grocery bag. Go get me a big bag. And so they're like walking through the house to go find a duffel bag.
Yeah.
So dumb.
But it's also like the narrative of the episodes, they all connect in the end to the finale of season 1 too. So it's like it's well written as well. And then a little bit of a spoiler, I guess, for season 2, which I'm watching right now, but it dives into why Ray has his code and why he believes the way he believes, and he's a good dad too. It's like and a very good brother to his brother that has is it MS?
No, I think it's Parkinson's.
Is it Parkinson's?
That's what I'm guessing.
So like this guy is like likable despite what he does in a way that Barry just kind of isn't.
Mm.
And I'm not saying I don't like Barry, because I think Barry's really
They're just different.
a really funny show, but they're different, yeah. So I really, really liked season 1 of this show. I'll give it a 9.2.
Cheers.
Denise.
No, Dimmies.
Dimmies. Yeah. Learning some fun Australian words as well. Apparently they call gum chewy. Have some chewy. So, yeah, it's good. I recommend it. But it is lots of swearing and there is violence.
Yeah. And alcohol and
Yeah.
like substance use or whatever.
Right.
Well, what else are you gonna consume this week?
Keep watching Shogun, but that's 2 weeks away when that series is finally done. And we need to get back to Atlanta.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Are you wanting me to just watch it by myself?
Yeah.
Then? All right.
I've been watching Community.
Okay.
I'll hopefully have another book done.
You realize that you just said Atlanta's so weird, and then you said I'm watching Community.
It's different.
Yeah, but it's also weird.
I know.
I'm also playing the Mad Max video game.
Do you think we'll have what's that show that we've been meaning to finish?
Shorzy?
Yeah, Shorzy. Do you think we'll have that done?
Yeah, we probably have that done as well.
Okay. I mean, there's only a couple episodes left.
We're so close. We might as well just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah. Anything else?
We might as well just shoot that particular dick right off.
Oh my gosh.
Don't you think?
Okay, well, have a great week, everybody. Bye.